Once upon a time, there was an extraordinarily beautiful princess. Her beauty came not from her eyes or her hair or her figure, but from the power in her heart. This princess married a man she saw as tender and kind, for he always spoke to her with sweet words of love, but his elegant expressions disguised a dangerous truth. He was a desperate seeker of power, willing to seize it at any opportunity. However, power didn't grow in gardens, nor was it sold in the markets, so after much fruitless searching, her husband devised a plan. He waited until the princess was fast asleep and quietly pulled a silver strand of power from her. He couldn't hold the thin gossamer thread, for it kept sliding through his fingers, so he dropped it into a basket that he quickly hid under the bed. Determined not to give up, he resolved that every night as his princess slept, he would take another strand until he found one that he could hold onto and use. Night after night he stole strands of power from the princess. Some were silver, some gold. There were reds and greens and blues. Some were yellow, others lavender. He was not able to hold on to any of them and dropped each one into the secret basket. One night, the princess felt a tug at her heart and woke from her sleep asking, "Are you taking my power?" Her husband answered quickly, "How could you ask such a thing? I'd never do that to you. I love you. You must be dreaming." Then his eyes filled with tears, and the princess believed him. Yet every morning she awoke sadder and weaker, knowing something was wrong and believing it must be her fault in some way. One day her fairy godmother came to the princess and whispered, "Trust yourself, my sweet dear. Trust yourself." That night, once again, the princess felt a tug at her heart and woke asking, "Are you taking my power?" Quickly her husband answered, "How could you say such a thing? I'd never do that to you. I love you. You must be dreaming." Once again he cried, and a tear rolled down his cheek. This time, trusting herself, the princess recognized his dangerous deceit. In the morning she found the basket where he had hidden her strands of power. She carried it with her as she left her husband and moved into a simple cottage. Then she cried and cried, for she had loved this man, and often she walked the meadows, hoping gusts of wind might blow her pain away. Slowly, she began to weave her strands of power back together. She worked for a long time. The sun and the moon took turns shining through her windows. Branches on the trees filled and emptied and filled again as seasons changed. One morning, the princess woke to find her power woven into a soft, magnificent shawl, a large, multicolored, and uniquely textured tapestry, stronger and more beautiful than she could ever imagine.